Someone left this comment in one of my videos, and it stopped me dead cold. They said, life for a man today is like being on trial in court 24/7. And if you felt that in your chest, you're not alone because that's not paranoia. That's pattern recognition. In courtrooms, everything you say can and will be used against you. One wrong word, and the jury decides your fate. Now imagine living like that every single day, at work, on dates, at the gym, even walking down the street. That's what men are telling me they feel, and most women have no idea this is happening. Today, we're talking about something that is finally getting attention, but only because it started hurting women. It's called the Great Feminization. And if you're a man watching this, I see you. If you're a woman confused about where all the good men went, this might explain everything. So let's get into it. What being on trial actually means. Here's the thing, when I say men feel like they're on trial, I'm talking about real everyday anxiety. He walks into work. Did he compliment her outfit? That could be harassment. Did he not compliment her outfit? Now he's cold and unfriendly. He makes a joke. Wrong person laughs, he's fine. Wrong person hears it, HR wants to talk. One of you guys commented, I used to be afraid of losing my job for not performing well. Now I worry about losing my job for saying the wrong thing. That hit different, didn't it? Confidence doesn't matter anymore. Compliance does. One wrong word, and you're not just fired, you're labeled. And that label follows you. Let me tell you about something that happened last week. A guy messages me and says he's in a Zoom meeting. His female coworker's kid runs through the background. He smiles and says, "Oh, cute kid." She thanks him. Meeting ends, right? Next day, HR emails. Someone felt like his comment was inappropriate attention to a kid. This man almost lost his job for being human, for being kind. That's the courtroom we're talking about. Or think about dating. He approaches a woman at a coffee shop. If she's interested, he's confident. If she's not, he's a creep. Same man, same approach, different verdict based on her mood. He's not trying to be predatory. He's just trying to meet someone. But the risk, one bad interaction, one screenshot, one viral post, and suddenly he's the internet's villain. And you know what the worst part is? He never gets to defend himself. The trial happens without him, in group chats, on social media, in her head. The verdict comes fast, and there's no appeal process. You can't prosecute someone into loving you. You can't subpoena respect. You can't court order connection. So, what does he do? He stops trying. Not because he doesn't want connection, but because the courtroom is exhausting. And I get it. I made a video about gyms recently, about how men are walking away because one glance gets them filmed and gets caught a creep. And you know what men told me? Remy, it's not just the gym, it's everywhere. When everywhere becomes a courtroom, nowhere feels like home. Let's talk about the workplace. You're in a meeting. You disagree with a female coworker. If you're firm, you're aggressive. If you're diplomatic, you're condescending. If you stay quiet, you're not a team player. There's no winning moves. So men stop engaging. They keep their heads down. They do their work. They go home. And then women wonder why the office culture feels cold. Here's what's wild. Gen Z men are watching millennial men get destroyed and taking notes. They're not even trying. They're going straight to solitude. They watched their older brother get canceled for jokes for 2012. They saw their fathers get divorced. They learned the lesson without living it. Or dating apps. Swipe right, send a message. Hey, how's your week going? No response. Try something clever. Trying too hard? Be direct. Too forward. Meanwhile, she's got 500 matches. He's got 3. And out of those 3, 2 unmatched after one message. The game is rigged, and he knows it. Even just walking down the street, he's behind a woman at night. She speeds up. He speeds up to past her just so she doesn't feel like she's being followed. Now he's definitely following her. So he slows down. Now he's lurking. Brother can't win. So he crosses the street, changes his route, goes the long way because it's safer to inconvenience himself than risk being misunderstood. Everywhere he goes, he's calculating. Is this okay? Is that weird? Will someone take this the wrong way? That's not living. That's surviving. The gym was just one courtroom. The whole world became one. And when men tell you they're exhausted, believe them. They're not exaggerating, they're understating. The great feminization isn't about women being empowered. It's about what happened with masculine traits. Leadership became controlling, protection became patriarchy, confidence became arrogance, strength became aggression. Every natural masculine trait got relabeled as toxic. For decades, men heard, oh, be softer, be more emotional. Some men tried. They showed emotion. Women called them weak. They let her lead. Women got frustrated. You can't call something toxic for decades, then wonder why it disappeared. The same culture that told women that they don't need men convinced men that they don't need women. Nobody won. Women are now asking, where are the masculine men? Honey, every time masculinity was mocked, we moved closer to this moment. When safety became solitude, everybody loses. Let me paint you a picture. You're told to man up, but don't be too masculine. That's toxic. Show your emotions, but not too much because that's weak. Be confident, but not cocky. Be a leader, but don't be controlling. Pursue her, but not too much. That's predatory. Let her come to you, but not too much. That's passive. Provide for her. Don't think she needs you. Protect her. Don't act like she can't handle herself. Where's the line? Nobody knows. It moves depending on her mood, her trauma, her friend's opinion, what she saw on TikTok that morning. One of you guys said this perfectly. Men realized they could walk away from disrespect all along, and that's it. That's the shift. Men aren't fighting anymore. They're just leaving. Because here's what women need to understand. When you spend years telling a man he's not good enough, he's not evolved enough, he's not sensitive enough, he's not strong enough, eventually he stopped trying to be enough. Not because he gave up, but because he realized the standard was impossible. Goalposts don't just move, they teleport, they quantum leap. They exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. And here's what breaks my heart about this. Most women didn't want this. They wanted partnership. They wanted respect. They wanted equality. But somewhere along the way, the message got twisted. And instead of equality, we got elimination. Instead of balance, we got distance. Women didn't realize what they were taking until men stopped giving it. Protection felt like control, so men stopped protecting. Provision felt like obligation, so men stopped providing. Leadership felt like patriarchy, so men stopped leading. Now both sides are confused and alone. Peace became more value than partnership, and that's not weakness, that's self respect. And here's where it gets real. Men didn't disappear. They made a choice, a conscious, deliberate choice. According to Pew Research, nearly half of single men in America, that's almost 24 million men, are not looking for relationships or even casual dates. Why? Because peace became more valuable than partnership. Another comment that stuck with me: being lonely isn't as bad as being exploited. Men aren't choosing solitude because they hate women. They're choosing it because it hurts less than being constantly judged, recorded, rejected, and labeled. They're building home gyms. They're staying off dating apps. They're keeping their heads down at work. They're choosing peace. And you know what one of you said? Man up. We did man up. We manned up and left. It's not weakness, that's wisdom. Men didn't quit women, they quit the circus. They quit auditioning for people who already decided they're the villain. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. Good guy, right? Engineer. Tried dating for years. After his last breakup, where she said he was too nice, but also not nice in the right way, he bought a dog, built a workshop, and hasn't dated in 3 years. He told me, Remy, I've never been happier. That's where we are now because knowing when to walk away from something that drains you, that's self respect, what everyone lost. And this is the part that hurts because when men walked away, nobody won. Women are lonelier than ever. Men are lonelier than ever. Dating is dead. Marriage rates are dropping. Birth rates are crashing. Communities are fractured. And everyone is asking, what happened? Here's what happened. You can't burn a bridge and cry that there's no way back. For decades, men were told they were not needed. They're not wanted. They're the problem. So they believed it. They left. And now the same voices that pushed them away are asking, where did all the good men go? They didn't go anywhere. They're in their garages lifting weights. They're building businesses. They're focusing on themselves. They're choosing peace over chaos. And honestly, can you blame them? But here's what I want both sides to hear. The great feminization didn't just weaken men, it weakened everyone. Because when you remove masculine energy from the equation, you don't just lose the traits you label toxic, you lose protection, you lose provision, you lose stability, you lose the balance that makes everything works. Women, a lot of you didn't mean for this to happen. You wanted to be seen as equals. You wanted respect. You wanted your voice to matter. And those are beautiful things to want. But somewhere in that fight, men became the enemy. And when you make someone the enemy long enough, eventually, they stop trying to be your ally. The truth is, we're all paying for our ideology that told us we were better apart. And now we're living in that reality. Separate, lonely, confused. Women are feeling it now. Female writer like Helen Andrews can write articles about the great feminization. Female creators can make videos about where the men went. And suddenly, this matters. Men have been saying this for 50 years. They were called bitter, misogynistic, and angry. But every prediction they made came true. They weren't wrong. They were just early. Let me close with this. To every man watching, I see you. I see the years of being told you were too much and not enough. I see you choosing peace because the alternative was exhausting. You're not wrong. You're not weak. You're not alone. To the women watching, I see you too, wondering where connection went, where partnership disappeared too. The great feminization didn't create winners. It created distance. And now we're all living in that space between us. Maybe it's time we stop asking where the men went and start asking why they felt they had to leave. Because connection isn't dead. It just needs both sides to stop performing and start being real. This isn't about going back to the 1950s. This is about understanding what we lost when we decided half the human experience was the enemy. You can't fix what we won't acknowledge. And acknowledging that men have been living on trial for years, that's a start. Drop a comment. Let me know. Have you felt this? Have you seen this? Let's talk about it. It's been your girl, Renee here. I'll see you guys in my next video.